Hi everyone, this is Antonia and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about who are the chosen ones. So, chosen ones are very special people. Chosen ones are people chosen by God. Yes, chosen ones are very special. They are normally born into toxic, dysfunctional families to break generational curses. They're normally the black sheep of the family and also known as the scapegoats of the family because they are treated the worst in these families. Um, when they're born into these families, the people in the family members don't know why, they don't understand why these people are so different. That's why they are the black sheep. They don't understand why they do everything different. But it's because on a spiritual level, chosen ones are set apart. They are not like their family members. They are there on a purpose to save the family. They're normally abused. They are neglected. They are treated completely differently. These people mistreat them, and I mean, it's horrible. Speaking from experience, growing up, I was born into a family, well, basically two families on my mum's side and my dad's side, both very toxic. The first 5 years of my life, I lived with my mum, and then my dad took me from my mum, and I got to meet my other siblings in my dad's family that I didn't even know existed. And I remember when I was really young, the first 5 years of my life, I don't really remember much, obviously, because I was really young. But then when I moved into my dad's house, I had a stepmom there, and my stepmom, she was not the nicest. I think she had some issues with my mom, so she used to take it out on me a lot. And I was really young, I was about 5, 6. I lived with my stepmom for about 5 years. And I just remember, she used to hit me and she used to tell all my siblings to hit me. We were all really young at that point, but this went on for a long time. It went on for about 5, 6 years when I lived with my stepmom before I moved back to the UK to live with my mum. But those 5 years were hell. I just remember the abuse. It was so bad. I never understood it because I was really young. I was treated so badly compared to my other siblings, and I never really understood it. So 5 years happen, 5 years go on. I then come back to the UK and live with my mum as well. I got to live with my mum and my stepdad. And it was kind of similar, but I never expected it from my mum because the first 5 years with my mum were amazing when I was really young. But then when I'd grown up, so at this point I was about 12, got to move in with my mum again, and I just remember she switched up on me. But I've missed out a lot because while I was living with my dad, I noticed the same at school, you know, from when I can remember, from about 6, 7, 8. I used to have a lot of trouble at school with other students. I was always rejected. And I always thought when I was younger, like, why is it that I always get problems with, no one likes me? I never understood why people didn't like me. Even when I was like really nice, people never liked me and I never understood it. And I used to think maybe I was a really bad person in my past life, because even when I was really nice, like people just never liked me. I remember actually when I was about 15, a friend of mine said to me, like, no one ever likes you and people just don't like you for no reason. So people could see that, I was always treated differently and I never understood it. So the abuse went on for years and years, and I'm going to skip out a lot, but I'll save it for other videos. So fast forward now, I am about 16, 17. I moved out of my mum's house, and the same thing has been going on for years. I've met, toxic boyfriends. I was meeting toxic friends, abusive, partners and friends and siblings. I mean, it went on for years until when I was about 20, I had a mental breakdown. Because when I was younger and I would try to talk about what I was going through, they would basically just dismiss me. And they'll be like, oh, you're just overthinking, or, they would just shut me up because I was never allowed to speak up. They would just shut me up. And I used to keep a lot of pain inside. I used to always just keep it inside and just, push it down. And because no one was ever on my side. And I used to always think, even when I'm right, no one's on my side. I never understood why people were never on my side. Even when I was right, it was always my fault. Everything was always my fault with both sides of the families, with my cousin, everybody, and I never understood it. So anyway, fast forward when I was 20, I had a mental breakdown, and I just remember all these thoughts from all these years hit me like a ton of bricks. All the pain came back in like one go, and it completely broke me. It broke me so bad that I got really depressed, really, really depressed, and I had really bad anxiety and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Because I remember I would have memories of the things that happened to me when I was young. And when the memories came, it was like I was reliving that moment. The pain I felt when I was young, I would feel it years later exactly, or even worse. PTSD is not a joke. But at the time, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know that depression, anxiety, and PTSD was a thing. I just thought I was going crazy. I honestly thought I was going crazy. And I just remember staying in the house. I was in isolation for 2 years, crying, remembering these things and feeling physical pain. I felt pain in my heart. My chest felt pain, physical pain, from the abuse I went through as a child. And I remember thinking, I'm going to change, and maybe if I'm really, really nice, then people will like me and people will stop treating me badly. But now at my age, years later, I realize no matter how nice I could have been, because I was just a normal person, there's no niceness I could have been that will make people like me. But back then when I was 20, I never understood it like that. I just thought maybe I'm not a nice person and people just, they don't like me. But that was not the case, because my siblings are, they are not the best, but people love them, But I just never understood why do I always have trouble with people? Until 2022, I met someone, because over the years, those years when I was going through all this, I was meeting narcissists, but I did not know, even the first mental breakdown I had, I'm sure that person was a narcissist, because this happened in New York. I was 19 and something happened, came back to London when I was 20, and I had a mental breakdown from, all these things that kept happening to me. So anyway, 2022, before I really understood narcissism and the battle of narcissists and empaths and chosen ones, I met like one of the worst ones, because I've met some really bad ones. And but bear in mind, even when this happened in 2022, I had no idea that all these people that I'd been meeting were narcissists, until I went into isolation. I did my research. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Then I was like, wait, these people's traits are narcissistic. That's when I realized. So all this time I've been with narcissists. This was me thinking the way they were acting is normal. This is how people act, and this is just how people treat me. But then going back to family, I've been around healthy families, and I was always like so shocked and surprised when, these family members were so nice to each other. And I was like, but I have never seen that with my family, you know? It was so shocking to see healthy families, like when I was around, certain families, and I would see like, wow, like this is different from where I've come from. And also, you see healthy relationships. And I'm like, but then in my relationship, it's completely different. So anyway, 2022, October 2022, had a situation with two of them actually, and that was it. I think like God was just like, you know what, you've seen enough, you've had enough. It's time for you to now learn who you are. And 2022, it was rough. It was the end of 2022, that year. The end of it was it was very rough. I went into isolation and I was broken. At that point, like I was really, really broken. And until now, I have learned so much. I've Now I'm able to see a narcissist from over there, We're not very many of us. Chosen ones are not so many of us. And what I've learned about narcissism as well, anybody could be a narcissist. Let me tell you why. Because when you're a chosen one, you can trigger. So narcissists are people who are demonized. These are people that have unclean spirits in them. And when you're a chosen one and they sense that on a spiritual level, you trigger their demons to attack you. Chosen ones trigger people's demons to attack them. The reason why you trigger these people's demons is because chosen ones are hated by the devil. The devil hates chosen ones because God chose you. You are chosen by God to get into these families and to correct things in these families, to break generational curses. The devil hates that. So the devil uses these people who you think are supposed to love you to break you, abuse you, and mistreat you and do all these terrible things to you, so that you grow up with so much hate. You grow up with so much anger, and you don't get to fulfill your purpose. You don't get to fulfill the purpose God put you on earth, to do. So that's why some chosen ones, like me, the first time I had a mental breakdown and I hated the world. I hated everybody. I stayed in the house. I had unforgiveness in my heart. I did not want to forgive all these people that hurt me, because I realized how they treated me was wrong. They never, because we've all grown up now, and my siblings treat their kids so amazing. They treat, their families so good. So why did you treat me so badly? And I was just a child, I've seen my mom treat my other siblings so differently. She treats them so differently from when, the way she treated me. Growing up, she never celebrated my birthday. But she made sure she celebrated my other siblings' birthdays. And and this went on into adulthood. Like, my birthdays are like the worst days for me, because I feel so alone. I feel so like unloved. But now I know that God loves me. It's actually my birthday this Sunday, in a couple of days. And I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I might take myself out to lunch. I don't know yet. But I just know that now it's me and God. God chose me for a reason. God's got my back. Even if I've got no family, because I don't talk to any of them, I've blocked all of them, I've cut them all off, but I've got God. And life is so peaceful, Life is so peaceful now. I love life, I'm very happy now. I'm progressing in life. I'm doing the things that make me happy, away from these people, because these people will never change. What I do now, I pray for them. I pray for them, and I pray for God to deliver them from those spirits using them, and, fill their hearts with love. Because I don't even think they know what they're doing. It's like they're just on autoplay, they're just being used. When it comes to me, I am their enemy. They don't like me. They treat me differently, and they probably don't even know why. But it's the devil that uses them to do this to us so that we don't pray for them and we don't fulfill the purpose of breaking the generational curses in this family, in these families, sorry. So my advice to chosen ones is, the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So the meaning is we're not they're not the problem. Our problem is the devil. He is the enemy, not our family. Our family is being used, they're vessels for the enemy. So the enemy uses our families to attack us. They're not the problem. So we have to pray for them. As chosen ones, we have to pray for our families. Yes, we have to keep our distance because we don't know, if they've changed, but we have to pray for them. And yeah, we have to keep them in our prayers, and we have to forgive them. We have to forgive them. That's the only way we can fulfill our purpose. The reason God put us on this earth is to break the generational curses. We have to pray for them, and we have to forgive them. So I'm gonna end my video here today, but I will be talking more about narcissism and chosen ones and empaths, and our purposes and why we're all here, and how the enemy uses people around us to attack us. Thanks for watching again, and take care.